Alright, like many videos that have never made it to the final draft, I decided, even though the format passed, I decided I'd make a video of this just to see what happens. And it was just kind of interesting. I don't know, like I just felt like running something crazy. So I ran Aerodactyl, Shadow Aerodactyl in fact, and I'm using Victreebel with Magical Leaf, and I'm also using Hakamo-o. So very interesting team. So the Aerodactyl, I'm running Steel Wing as the fast attack. I switched it up. Originally I had Rock Throw and double rock moves. That was the last time I used this Aerodactyl, when that was actually the optimized move set. So I put on Steel Wing, I'm running Earth Power, and I decided to take away Ancient Power and just keep Rock Slide. And yeah, I mean, I would not recommend this Pokemon in this format, but I felt like with all the ice types running around, maybe it could be kind of interesting going for a Steel Wing. And also there's some interesting matchups in general with Aerodactyl. Honestly, I just ran this because I was like looking what I had in my inventory and what looked like it would be the worst thing to use. That's pretty much why I picked this. And that's why I'm here. So I did a couple of sets with this team, and I'm pretty sure by the time this is live, this format's already gone. And like I was saying at the beginning of the video, normally I've done this a lot of times where I've run something super spicy, but in my head I'm like, oh, the format's gone, why should I even post this video? There's so many crazy battles that never make it to the live button here on YouTube because I don't know. I just don't. If you're watching this and you're more interested, if you're enjoying this video and you're interested in just seeing the spice, no matter the consequences or what's going on, let me know in the comments, because I'll post more videos, post metas, even when I ran something crazy in it. Because I don't know, the way I look at it is like people aren't searching this anymore, so whatever. I mean, to be fair, like you shouldn't be doing this, and maybe there's an entertainment value here. So yeah, that Gazlord destroyed me. Let me actually commentate on this a little bit. So this is kind of interesting because I felt like I had to save swap out. I didn't want to rely on the fact that they might think, oh, maybe I need to switch out an Aerodactyl, but like they probably weren't going to realistically with Poliwrath. Even the counter damage is still going to do pretty good being a rock flying type. So I save swap into Victreebel, and Welrin meets me, which I was thinking like maybe I should double shield here. But at this point I was like, this is too good to be true because they could have farmed me down more than likely. But they got a little nervous, so this worked out pretty good because I was thinking if I could just get that little bit of energy gain on Aerodactyl, this might be okay. But then I was like, you know what? Realistically, I'm going to just rely on Hakamo-o because I don't think I have a positive matchup with the lead. And I pretty much just have to try to bank that I can somehow get the Brick Break off on the final Pokemon. Like I want to take one Weather Ball here because I know I can take a water move being a dragon type and then farm down. And at this point I'm just trying to generate the energy, and I need to just try to lower Poliwrath's defense, and then hopefully I can get a Dragon Claw off before I can use a move. But realistically it's going to be able to get a move off before I can do anything, and even then the counter damage is just too much, so it's just overkill with the Icy Wind. I didn't really have a chance at that point, realistically. So I have another match similar, and I'm thinking, okay, well, that was a tough one with the Welrin switch. I'm gonna try again, and sure enough, I felt like, wow, this might even be like, this is still bad. Mantine switch, very similar idea, aside it being a shadow variant of Poliwrath. So, I mean, this doesn't feel too good, and at this point, I was like, you know what? I just need to commit the shield. I just need to do it because if I can just somehow get the switch, even if I lose the shield, it will be more advantageous. I switch out Victreebel, saving the energy, and this is actually a really pinnacle moment because my opponent thinks they can take a move, maybe not thinking I'm going for the fighting move, and I one-shot Obstagoon, so they just decide to quit, thinking, well, what am I going to do at this point? So that worked out relatively good for me. I got kind of lucky there, honestly, just removing the Obstagoon immediately. In this fight, I get a Noctowl lead, and having Steel Wing, by the way, I didn't really comment on this. I felt like almost after I switched it from Rock Throw to Steel Wing, I almost wish I had Rock Throw as the fast attack, just because there were so many scenarios where it felt like Rock damage was a little bit better. Like I think there's like a battle where I have like a Typhlosion lead, for example. But to be fair, the Steel Wing buff does make it a little bit more viable of throwing charge moves, because Aerodactyl is super frail, especially being the Shadow variant. And yeah, I have a pretty great scenario here. I think they actually just quit the match at this point because of the lag, because yeah, there's really nothing they're going to do with even that Ninetales at that point. I was going for Brick Break just to lower the defenses. All right, so the second set of using Aerodactyl, I get an Empoleon lead, and yeah, honestly, this is not looking too good with the Noctowl coming in. And I guess I could have tried to switch in Hakamo-o there on Empoleon. That may have been a little bit, I don't know, to be honest, they were both pretty bad for Noctowl. And maybe Victreebel is the better sacrifice in this scenario. Honestly though, I don't know. The only thing I could really do here is hope to trade a shield at this point. And from there, I bring back in Aerodactyl, and I have them just take a Shadow Ball. And thankfully I can take that, and I am able to farm down. But in comes Empoleon again, so I'm going to safe swap out, and then it's Gligar. So, you know, it's like it's a tough call, because I think if I would have switched in Hakamo-o, maybe they would have brought in... Yeah, maybe potentially they would have just brought in Gligar. It's hard to say. If I could have maybe switched the alignment, potentially that could have been better. Because I think Victreebel against Gligar is a better matchup, even though it's not a good matchup still. But yeah, GG. Tough battle. This one, I thought they wouldn't shield at all, maybe not even knowing what Aerodactyl has. They didn't throw a move, I guess they're trying to generate energy, so I'm going to just throw Earth Power. And I knew if Earth Power connected, it was going to be pretty good, but I end up switching out to catch a move. The defense drop is nice there, but I guess it doesn't matter too much considering I already switched and they can switch out. And so they switch out to the Ninetales, but it is Charm variant. So I guess I could have went double Leaf Blade potentially, but I guess getting the shield overall is a good situation here. And I figured because it's also a Shadow Pokemon, Steel Wing was going to do a lot of damage. Again, Rock Throw may have even done more here, but to be fair, no, actually it wouldn't, because it's a low in Ninetales. It's 4 times weak to Steel. So the Steel move is actually better on Aerodactyl against the Charm Ninetales, or even Powder Snow. So they have Swampert in the back, and this is actually not too bad, because I know Hakamo-o can take a water move. And I'm going to just let this move go through, and thankfully I do call it properly because of the timing, and I just throw the Dragon Claw, and it's gonna be a GG at this point. Tough battle, but the Earth Power landing on the Shadow Ferrothorn in the beginning was very crucial. So I get the Typhlosion lead, and they decided to switch out, I guess, maybe not knowing if I was, you know, Steel Wing or Rock Throw, or maybe even thinking that I would outpace them. I don't really know, actually. I never really looked at that matchup. But I decided to switch in my Hakamo-o in on the Goodra, and I want to at least just win the switch so I can determine how I can bring in my next Pokemon. And the way I was looking at this was, I'll go for the Brick Break, and more than likely going to get the shield. And on top of that, that's great, because now I have 1 shield versus the opponent's 0 shields, and I have control over what I bring in here. And I thought, you know what? It might even be better if I just sacrifice my Aerodactyl and kind of bank that Victreebel will be able to deal with whatever is in the back line. And in this scenario, it kind of worked out because I knew I could take at least 1 Aerial Ace from Superior, and it allows me to get this little bit of farm down, which is just by sheer luck, honestly, at this point, where I can already have the Sludge Bomb loaded. And that's really all I need to finish off Typhlosion upon coming in. So, a little scary, but yeah. that was actually pretty clutch there, the way that worked out. So I get a Jellicent lead, which is pretty bad, and I decided since Victreebel may be the better matchup for Jellicent in the end, I'm going to safe swap in Hakamo-o. And in comes Gligar, and the Dragon Claw does connect, which, you know, initially seems like maybe was the wrong play, but this actually works out pretty good because I get the Brick Break off, and I could probably just double shield here and just win the switch, which may flip alignment, which is kind of crucial in this type of battle. So as you can tell, I win the switch, which is good. I have enough energy on top of that to throw a Dragon Claw into Jellicent, so I get some chip damage off with the Dragon Tail and Dragon Claw, and I can bring in Victreebel now, and even a Shadow Ball, I'll be able to take it. And they do have Greedent in the back, but honestly, this is kind of the thing. I overtap here, which I knew at this point I wasn't really going to be able to outpace Greedent. So I think I quit here because I realized I kind of messed up by not throwing the Leaf Blade. That damage would have been significant in helping me finish up the match. But yeah, the double, like the Greedent can outpace me and just throw crunches back to back and pretty much remove me from the field. So in this one I get the Carbink, which is pretty cool because I guess in this scenario, Steel Wing is better than having Rock Throw on Aerodactyl. And yeah, I'm able to threaten it out, get the Gligar, the Shadow Gligar, in fact, smack it with a Leaf Blade, which puts me in a pretty good position to let Victreebel go, and I can preserve this shield. And I think I decide to bring in Aerodactyl, knowing that I can just take the flying moves. But because I didn't want to waste my shield, I just let it go, knowing it's not worth shielding Aerodactyl with its health. It's not like I have a move stored or anything beneficial. So they bring Poliwrath, I generate some energy, they switch in Carbink trying to catch, I guess, like a Dragon Claw potentially. But I end up being patient, and then I throw a Brick Break after generating a decent amount of energy. And then from there, I can instantly throw a Brick Break back into Poliwrath as it returns on the field. And I think that's going to be what allows me to win this battle. So yeah, that one required a lot of patience for me to manage that one. So yeah, if you enjoyed these battles, definitely consider liking, commenting, subscribing. It does help my content a lot on this platform. The Sass Squad is getting stronger each and every day. Have a good morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you're tuning in. I'll catch you in the next one.